Dear ones, maybe your new feelings include hyper-anxiety or a disinterest in life. Feelings that indicate you are undergoing the dramatic shifts that we and others of the universes have long discussed. Your anxiety is the result of knowing your life is changing and not certain you will be comfortable with the changes. And your boredom is because your being is ready to shift but not yet doing so, like an empty vessel ready to be filled. Even though you are allowing the miracles of new you to enter your being, doing so feels frightening or confusing. Your anxiety is the result of creating a new you in all its glory. As if you know what will happen but are too impatient to wait until it does. Of course, you question why you are nervous or frightened if the knowing includes your new world joy. Such is so because you continue to question if you deserve joy, if it is appropriate to be joyful in a world seemingly filled with sadness, or if you want to shift from 3D pain to a joyful life. Your fears are not about the possibility that something might not happen but the certainty that it will. So, you ponder how your life and those around you will change. What if your shift is so dramatic you cannot relate to those you love? Or you must move? Or give up something else that is significant to you? Your fears are probably accurate. If those you are close to refuse to transition or support you in your transition, they will probably no longer be part of your inner circle. At the same time, those close to you are also likely shifting, so they have similar fears or are bored. It is an emotional time. But one that you can easily surf as long as you remain true to your being. Not everything in your new world will fit together as easily as was probably true in 3D, for no one knows the outcome of this constant shifting. If you moved to a country with a language you were not familiar with, you would expect to have difficulties until you mastered the language and customs. The same is true for this significant shift. The difference is no one is telling you that such will happen. You know your life is different, but you have no idea if that difference will produce the joy you hope for or confusion and difficulties. So, for some, the immediate response is fear. Fear that a once somewhat comfortable life is different without future guarantees. It is so overwhelming for others that they close off everything, creating a dramatic boredom. This phase concerns how you handle change, the huge shifts affecting you and those you love. Will you worry about it until you can think of nothing else? Or will you slide through it, not paying attention to what was or what is? Neither action accommodates your needs as you flow into the new. A flitting butterfly is unlikely to worry about not having enough flowers for the next season. Nor is it likely butterflies might refuse to pollinate flowers because they were too bored to do much of anything. You, en masse, have settled into those two action plans because you are afraid you cannot complete this final stage of shifting Earth and the beings of Earth from fear to love. Daily, you learn of new fearful actions or thoughts. The Earth is erupting. And there are wars complete with signs of hate and corruption throughout. Nothing seems clean and loving. So, for some, it is a life you do not wish to connect to. For others, it is the fear that you are not doing enough to shift the Earth and those around you. This is a confusing phase, a bit like Dorothy before she finds her fellow travelers in the Wizard of Oz. She is frightened and alone, without enough information to return home to Kansas. But as she begins to take control of her emotions, she discovers new friends and the missing puzzle piece of returning home not through anyone but herself. You have so many powers you have not claimed, and all you can think of is returning to the safety and security of home. But even if you were to do that, you would not be happy because you have experienced and accepted the new. You are not in Kansas anymore and never want to be again. And you are not yet comfortable in your new world. You will be much sooner than you realize. In the meantime, create those pieces you need to reduce your fears or acknowledge the joy of learning about the new world you created. You are not alone and never have been. What you are experiencing is 3D knowledge that no longer applies to your new world and fears of discovering how joyful your new world is. So be it. Amen.